when religion isn't about the priest laughing across the aisle because they're taking advantage and having a good time doing so of the flock. But when they're laughing across the aisle because they're just having a blast, because everyone's come together. Alan Watts says, see, that's what religion is supposed to be. It's supposed to be almost like an art form. And when those kinds of, when you get together, whether it's to meditate, whatever that is, it should be like a jam session. Okay, and so you see that this connects to what I said to you last time we had a conversation about your search to, help develop the artistic part of your life. And I said, you've got to get out there. There must be some place where you can create a jam session. And you see, but by hanging out with this guy, who turns out he was a drummer, and he was really interested in what you're doing, and it was this kind of cool thing that acted as a catalyst, it's very much, it's akin to the kind of synergy that occurs when you get together at a jam session. And it'll give you those rings that help you and keep you moving forward artistically and as a human being, And so every day, even if it's only one phone call, one outreach of whatever sort, that you do the work that goes to trying to get some kind of cool gig. At some other music store, I'll come in and I'll do a jam session. We'll just put a tip jar out. You do a drum hang. You feature a different drummer in town. I don't know if there are enough of them, but it could be cool, however you do it. Or you're going to feature this really good saxophonist. And you could just do so many amazing things. And there you are with your book, doing the whole thing. You'll come home high as a kite. So it's that kind of thing that I really recommend that you get into right now. That's really important for you. You've got to be playing. You've got to create ways to play. Okay? All right. Okay, let's get to work now.
You have to sign one of my copies and send it back to me.
Who did?
One of the copies of the book. So I send you one to sign to send back to me.
Oh.
Sign it. Because it's all about you and the teaching of the LA thing. It's so cool.
That's cool. Well, yeah, we'll figure out that whole book thing out. That's another subject. We've been talking about that. But it's cool that you're not letting it go. Now, if I recall, we took a look at stick control, page number 5, which is a very important aspect with regards to starting to learn, the essence of this technique. Murray would say it's in the first few pages of most books and all the pertinent information exists. The rest is just filling. Maybe not true with stick control. It's the Bible for drummers. But page 5 is a big deal because we're taking the simplest strokes and learning to put them together. And that's what Dick would talk about. In his article, he said, how many strokes are there? He said something like, there's 78 or something. And he said that was just a put on, because most people think there's only 26. But I don't know how many there might be. Someone would have to do the math. But it's just stringing strokes together. And it becomes a rudiment. So this is the beginning of putting those strokes together. And they incorporate some of Murray's Sweetback's 7 basic strokes. Right? So this exercise number 1 on page 5 is helping us understand singles. And it's not to be taken for granted. How do you play singles? And I'm marked here, Dick has it written in here that it's 72 to 80, a half note. So let's put the metronome on at 72. Okay, so I actually shouldn't be warming up traditional, should I? We're going to look at this thing in matched. So, this pad never works very well for matched. It's about the prongs to set up the angle. But it'll do in a pinch. Okay. So, if we're looking at playing singles, we have to think about a lot of stuff, right? And you spend some time thinking about the fact that first we're just going to let the arms hang. If we bring the arms up, because remember Dick Wilson in that article that he wrote, and I guess you're writing about Dick Wilson, Murray, but in the article he said, I know it sounds funny, but what drummers really need to learn is just how to hold the sticks. So it really starts with these very fundamental aspects. We're just learning to let the arms hang. So we get the feeling of relaxation, of just doing nothing. Okay. And then we're going to bring the arms up, and you'll notice that now we're in half turned over. And when we play on the pad, as we're developing this technique, Dick would say we're going to rotate just a little further so that we don't see the corner of the bottom part of the thumbnail. Then we know we're in palm down. Now you did all of that with the sticks in your hand, which is good. I'm going to come up to here. We're in half turned over. And then we're going to rotate to here. Right? We have that. It's a 45-degree angle. So you don't want to be too wide. It's a 45-degree angle. We don't want to hold anything in. We want it to be. Okay. So now we're going to learn to simply turn our wrists in time. This is half notes, so metronome is on 72. Let's hear that. Why don't I hear your metronome? Can you turn your metronome up?
It doesn't have a volume, it just...
Can you move it closer? Okay. So Mike, let's just take a look at that and see what it looks like in the right hand. Mike, can I see, would you give me, what would you call that? I want to see a left profile so that I can see the inner workings of your right hand. Okay, so can you turn so that I can see this part of your right hand?
Turning this way?
Yeah. Is that a big deal? Can you move your seat or move the pad? I want to be able to take a look at that. I need you to sit down and be comfortable. Now, why don't you do that again? Can you give me just a little bit more of a profile? I really want to see the side of your hand. No, it's not about where the pad is. The pad was fine. I just needed you to move in relationship to it. Be cool if you could keep the pad in the same place so that when I have you move back to the normal position. See, now I can't, Mike, I can't see the top of your pad. You move the pad into the shot. Okay. Go ahead and play in time. Turn a little higher for me. Oh, okay. Now go back to the regular position for me, Mike. But notice, go ahead and stop. Okay. Now go. Okay, now go back to the other position. See, that's really where you're stopping. You're stopping 4 inches from the surface, and now you're bringing it down, and you're still not at the floor. Okay, I want you to go back to the regular position so that I can see the entirety of your body. Can you hear me?
Back to where I was before.
Yep. Okay. So, you got, I want to take a look at what was going on with your grip and the relationship stick to hand. And so what I'm really seeing, right, it's supposed to be this tempo, right?
Nice.
It's supposed to be that over and over. See, but I'm really coming all the way to the floor every time. Every time. Okay, so let's just play 8 notes right now. Slow it down and take a look at how things work, okay? So go ahead, right hand, 8 notes. No, playing 8 notes to a half note. So you'll be playing only the right stick control. We'll see you're right. We're playing quarter notes. Okay.
I'm practically buried on the head, Kev. I'm not sure why it doesn't look like that.
Okay, now go ahead and play 8 notes. And stop. Yeah, I feel as though, go ahead and play 8 notes again, and I want you turning higher. Stop. Okay, yeah. We'll see that on the left. It's coming all the way up to here, Mike. It actually is coming up to here. You see it in real time. Get this thing going. You're really going to feel it opening and closing opening fingers. You don't want to clutch. See, when you played for me, and when I send you this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. When you played for me from a side position, what I was seeing was It was just the stick was only coming away from your palm when you got to the surface. Means you're clutching the stick back here, and the force of the surface was forcing the butt end away from your palm. See? Which makes it really hard to get much height in your wrist turn. Because now you're not feeling this. Right? The higher we turn, the more you're going to feel as we keep that stick in motion, and we're turning this high, you're going to feel the stick moving the fingers away from the palm. Now, right, so we don't want to clutch in the back. That's why Richard Wilson would talk about the first finger and the thumb being firm, comfortable, and constant. We're also going to recognize that the stick just lies in the hand. Okay? Just laying there. Just lying in the hand. Very open. And we bring the first finger and the thumb in as a guide. We leave the first finger and thumb pressure alone for all intents and purposes. And we want to get in touch with how the hand works. With no stick in the hand will do this, won't it? Go ahead and try that. Okay, and then bring it back to this position, which is your starting position. See, your hand is closed, right? Relative to it being in this position, which is open, and the hand closes. We know that the hand will work that way. See how your hand looks right now? Well, that's essentially what it looks like with a stick in hand. And then what we're going to do is we're going to maintain a firm, comfortable, constant pressure up front in what we call the guide. And we're going to let the stick lie in the hand, recognizing that there's a fulcrum. Middle finger, first knuckle, and palm down. Right? So we're maintaining that concept. Okay. And we know that if we turn up fast enough, it's going to move those fingers. If we leave the first finger and thumb alone, and leave the hand alone, you'll notice that will happen. Okay? Go ahead and try that. No, you just lifted your arm up. I want you to send that stick up into the air. No. I want you to send it up in the air. It means you have to turn your wrist. No, I want you to send it up into the air. And I don't want you lifting up this way. I just want you, okay, take the stick out of your hand for a sec. I just want you to turn your wrist up. Turn your wrist up. Turn it up. Okay, there. You see? It just flops right back. The faster you snap it up, the faster it comes back. Okay? Now put the stick in your hand and flick the stick up like that. Leave everything alone. Maintain a guide up front. Go on. Let it come up. Don't go slowly. Flick it up like you did with no stick. But feel the up more than the down. It'll come down on its own. Let's just experiment. Don't go up sideways. Straight up. No, straight up. The wrist is only going to turn thusly. Go for it. See if you can feel the natural there. Better. Remember, the faster you bring it up, the faster it comes down. For every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. Don't lift your arm. We want to get it from a wrist turn. No, you're lifting your arm. I just want you to flick your wrist. Just flick it. Flick it as fast as you can. Maintain your guide up front and the stick lying in your hand. Go for it. Just go for it. Flick it up faster and let it come down on its own. Don't bring it down. See if it'll just flick down on its own. I'm not saying that's how we play. I just want you to get in touch with this. Come on, just flick it up. Better. No, don't throw. But you see, it will help your throw, won't it? Okay. Yeah, I'm asking for. Yeah, flick it up. Flick it up and stop here. See? fingers are all closed, and you only came up to here, which, by the way, was my old habit, so I can relate, right? We really want to let it come up to here. Come on, right? Okay, now I'm going to take you somewhere else, because there's a connectivity, and you're missing this. This is a really important part of what we're trying to get here. Okay. Remember the Murray's feedback video with Louis Belson?
Mm-hmm.
And Louis is like the perfect student. Even after becoming a legendary name in drumming, there is Louis Belson as like the total supplicant to Murray. It's like, yes, show me. And Murray, no, I don't want that. I want it like this. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Now you've watched the video, right?
Many times.
That's what I mean. But you see, this is what's interesting. What happens is we watch something, and yet we're not really watching. For whatever reason. We bring in our own mishigosh and color it. We're distracted with something else. We're trying to superimpose some idea we have about technique on what we're seeing. But for some reason, we miss the essence of what's really going on. Because if you watch that video, you'd understand what it is I've just been trying to get in touch with. Have you get in touch with? Okay? So if you remember, and I'm going to just go through this, I don't want to make a mosaic out of this whole thing. These are big chunks of the technique that I want you to get your head around. And then you're going to go and watch the video again. Okay. So what Murray has Louis Belson do, if I recall, is he has him simply demonstrate what is an upstroke, right? And Murray just talks about, you just bend your wrist forward, right? All we're going to do is bend forward. And then we're going to, as Murray explains, just stay with me, just let me show you. So we're bending forward, and as Murray explains, now we're going to follow it up. And the stick has come away from the palm. And remember, Louis went up so slowly that the stick hadn't come away from the palm, so he moves it a little. And then Murray says, and then, if you want, for maximum power, we can cock again. Now we have the availability to create the thrust with the wrist on the way back. And if we want, we can add even more thrust with the pull of the middle finger, particularly, with the pull of that middle finger. And you get that strike. So you've got all the elements, right? You've got the whole thing here. Except you didn't get this thing. He's somewhere way back here. He demonstrates it from this side view, by the way, right? He's way back here, and Murray, it doesn't mean we have to pull, but it's available. You see? This hand is relaxed enough so that the stick energy motivates the opening of the fingers that way. We've come all this way back, right? So when we turn our wrist, see, and remember, the whole thing really is just a wrist turn. So if we were to just turn our wrist that high, shouldn't we get a similar effect? It's not going to be like this. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe we just need to go over the throat for a minute and open you up. Let's try that. Let's just get into position. Okay. Now we're going to bend forward and make that first note, a little up. But it doesn't happen in a slow motion remedial sense. We're the up itself, because we are going to break this into parts for remedial purposes. So stay with me here. But to get the upstroke, we want to actually feel in real time this. We actually have to make a note. There, you see? Boom. Do it again. Okay, there you go. And you're going to follow it up. You're going to follow it up. Follow it. No. No. You see, you didn't watch the video. I'm busting you, Mike. But it's cool. And maybe we can help some people. And you can incorporate this in your book. Okay. So started off like this. Then we followed it up. And I told you that Murray had Louis pointing up at the ceiling. Right? And then he said, and then we can cock the wrist again for maximum power. There. And then we would come back down. There. You see? Not bad. Okay, so good. So you see, when we get to here and we start to cock the wrist for the second time, it really magnifies, it really blows this up. Okay. I want you to be able to just toss the stick up and feel and go with a regular wrist turn. Okay, and what I want you to do with my ball, I just want one regular wrist turn. We're going back to that experiment. I want you to come up fast. Throw the stick up in the air. And allow the fingers to relax. Better? Better. Hold on up front. Don't let go up front. Come on up. When I say higher, I don't mean lift your arm. I mean turn your wrist higher. Remember, I know our arm's involved at the top of the throat, but I'm trying to get you to understand this positioning. There you go. See, now the stick is free to follow that path. You're not controlling it so much. Let it go. Let it be free. There. Not your arm. Let it be free this way. This way. Not your arm. No, you're throwing. Sure. Good. Let's do that for a minute. Let's just do this. And let it come against your palm. Good. We're not playing on the surface, we're playing above the surface. No, from this position. Mike, show me a side view. Just turn sideways. Now, I want you to let your fingers open up more. Feel them open up. There you go. And feel the butt end come back against your palm every time. Listen, it makes a noise.
I hear you.
You hear it?
Yeah.
There you go. Now put that feeling on the surface. It won't feel entirely like what you just felt. That's what's happening. You're allowing that hand to relax. We're trying to be more open. I'm trying to get you to open and let it be free. Let the stick breathe. You don't have to clutch it. You don't have to hold it as tightly as you think. All right, so let's see that in the left. I want you to slowly turn less and less high. I didn't say slow down.
Wow.
Just turn this much. Now it just feels to me like you can just feel the skin in the palm moving a little bit as it lies in your hand at this volume. There's not a lot of play. There's not going to be the kind of play that occurs as you come up room maximum wrist turn. Okay, now bring that up in volume. Slowly turn higher. You start to feel the stick pulling further and further away from the palm. Maybe that's a good way for you to start to feel it. Okay, good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to play singles at this tempo. Starting right. And notice where you just stopped. When you stopped, Mike, you went like this. Watch. We're going for something else. We're going for this. Okay? We want to be free. All right, and come on down. Come down a little more. Okay, we're going to have to work on that. But that's what we're looking to feel a freedom that you're not fully in touch with. Okay? Your arms a little more relaxed, and all I want you to do is let the sticks lie in your hand and turn. Maintain guides. Leave the hands, fingers alone. They'll follow the stick in a sense. Right? That's that following the stick. Okay, now let's just work on
I guess this is number 1, page 5.
I'm thinking of what would be best for you at this point, and I'm thinking that what we probably want to do is, let's see. Okay, so now we're going to make the metronome a quarter note. Okay, because I want you to, you need to get your wrist turned together right now. Murray would have us play this Spivak. Typically, you play this as rebounds. We're using this as a jumping off point. Okay, so we've learned that you never really fully understood what Murray was talking about. Hand really will open up like this. Okay, and that throw is an example of that very thing, but the whole thing is blown up. And now what we're going to do is we're learning to just feel this wrist turn. And what we're going to do is we're going to play 2 in each hand, okay, which isn't stick control at this point. It's really more akin to working on doubles and row strokes, isn't it? Turn higher so that you prove to me, really to yourself, that that stick is coming away from the palm when you turn that high. Let it be free. It's going to come away twice. A little better. As free as possible. So let it lay in your hand and maintain a guide in the first finger and thumb. There are ways to help you. We just don't want to clutch that stick with the back fingers. That's more of a molar kind of thing. want you to play in time.
Uh-huh.
No, you were in time. The drum's a quarter note, we're playing eighth notes. Look where your right is waiting. Stop. So you have to bring it down. Right? Your right does this every time. Check it out. Check it out. Stay with me. Your right is going something like ah. Is it ah 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 ah? Well, if you really went like this, wouldn't it stop here? Look. Doesn't it just stop? Go ahead. Come on, let the thing be free. See when I come up. See what? See you can see the position of my little right. See the position of my fingers. See. Yours look like this. It seems to me, but my tips are more open than yours. Nice and open, like this. If you hold it up to me, like this, hold it up like this. Yeah, you see. Open up the tip of your middle finger. Let it go like this, Mike. Watch. Let it go like this. Fall back towards you, like the Murray Spivak thing. Like this. Oh, see what I'm doing? I'm doing this. Ta-da! Come on, do this. We were here. Aim the butt end at me. Lean towards the camera. Now your tips are open. Now go ahead and close the whole thing. Now they're closed. Let them open. You're not feeling any of that. You're kind of just always like this. Ah. See, I can feel an openness. Coming back that high. Okay? So, what we're not coming up that high, but we want to feel the tips of your fingers should be relaxed enough so that they're not, so that rigor mortis hasn't set in. They should be able, you should feel them move. Try. Yeah, that's good. Just laying in your hand, see how relaxed everything is? Look, Mike, when you do this, watch. Better. When you do this, check it out. Stick out of hand. Stick out of hand. Okay? Bend forward. Do the tips open up? The rigor mortis hasn't set in there. It's fine. Okay, good. See, the hand is that relaxed. Let's play. Two in each hand. And remember, if you were really feeling this, the stick would stop right here. Every time. For both wrist turns. So let the fingers, remember how relaxed they were when you did this? And prove it to yourself when you're ready. When you're ready, just go. On the surface. And see if your hand will do that. If you're relaxed enough to do this. Go ahead, dribble on the surface. In the right. Turn once and let it dribble. You were turning like this, and then at a certain point, I just wanted you to turn. See, it's not loose. It should just bounce like that. Yeah, there. Like that. There you go. But you just keep the pressure up front in the first finger and thumb consistent, and then let the back fingers open up. Middle finger or pinky. No, like this. Okay, just do this with me. There. Try not to point your first finger. It just stays like this as you bend. Try it. Stay with me. There you go. Just put it down on the surface and bend forward. There. Now that's how that's going to feel more like that up front. And now we're going to lay the stick down with the hand laying in the hand, with the stick laying in the hand, and we're going to let it lie on the surface. And we're going to bend forward like that, and the other fingers will, no, don't lift the butt end up. Keep bending your wrist. Watch. You bend your wrist, it keeps going down. You're going to maintain this. You just did it, Mike. Watch. Take the other fingers off. With the stick, touch the stick to the surface. Keep bending, and the palm comes away from, there it is. See how the palm came away from the butt end? And look, your fingers are open. Now if they were on the stick, they'd be opening just like that, but not to that extent. While the stick lies in them, like that. See? The tips are pointed. Okay, back like this. Okay, now we're going to let the stick, put the fingers under the stick, wrap them around, touch the surface, copy what you just did, where you felt the butt end come away. There it is. Don't go, that's it. If you go much further, the butt end, the shank will lay on the surface. Bend a little further. Keep bending. Yeah, there. Don't push your arm down. You just keep bending.
He ran onto the pad.
Okay, let's try it again. Back, good. Okay, I'm going to lie it down and bend forward. There you go. Now when you bring it back up, fingers behind the guide will come back. Don't lift it too high. There you go. Lay it down again. There you go. Bring it just back to parallel. There, see your fingers are opening and closing. Go on, let the fingers open. No, don't lift there, just take your time. Feel, explore the actual sensation. What does that feel like? Feel it. Fingers open up, not the guide and first finger. Remember, you just held on. You don't need to keep pointing your first finger. It just stays. Remember, we already did that. It doesn't do much. There you go. And let it close. You could do it that way, but we want to train ourselves to bring that bead up off the surface. There you go. So that when we turn, we're going to feel some of that. Right? So we're going to turn and land open. There you go, and then bring it back. Good. Now we're going to just make one turn. But we know the hand can do that. If we want, we can always go like that. Right? Everything's in position. Hand's not on top, it can do that. Right? Okay, so now we're going to turn, knowing that if we want, at any time we can do this. Yep, well, let go up front. Remember, you don't need to. What you do need to do is let the fingers behind open up. Remember how it worked? And all you did was follow around the stick with your first finger and thumb, and the stick came away from the palm. And then come back. Then come back to, there you go. More like that. Okay, so now, all we're going to do is, with all of that in mind, knowing that that's how it'll work, or it can work like that, we want multiple rebounds, but what we're doing is we're just turning our wrist for one note, or two notes. It'll feel like that twice, but at any time, we can go like this. Good. So now play two notes as 8 notes to a quarter note. And let's just work on that right hand for just another minute. Just 2 notes. Play your left hand on your calf. Stopping up in the air. Get a little more relaxed. All you have to do is maintain an even, comfortable grip up front. Just in the way that you maintain the grip as you learn to bend forward for multiple rebounds. Now go ahead and play multiple rebounds. Let you dribble. Ah, you fixed it. Good. And then you bring it back up. Go. Okay, better. Let's see it in the left. Nice and relaxed, nice and loose. But we're stopping down right now. We wait right there at the floor. But you have to let this butt end come away from the palm. Every time you turn towards the ceiling, have the propensity to. If we're not turning very high, it'll be relative to how high we turn. It won't come away from the palm as much if we don't turn so. Maybe it won't come away at all if we barely turn. But it has the availability. The fingers are relaxed, working with the wrist. I don't want you making motions. I want that turn up into the air. And knowing that it'll come back at the same speed you tossed it up. There. Like an automatic recoil. Watch, it just comes back. It just comes back. You can't even help it. It's not if you're relaxed and you let the whole thing go, it kind of feels that way. Okay, now let it dribble. Play multiple rebounds. See? You haven't worked on it in this hand. Review in the left. Okay, but that's good. See, this is really important. You're starting to learn how to do this. You recognize that the right can do it, the left is a little wonky. Let's just take one look at this. In the left, you're going to touch the surface. I should really be demonstrating with my right. It's a little foreign. I don't often play this way, but we're going to touch, and then, let's duplicate the experiment. We didn't have the back fingers on, remember? So this helps us identify the fact that we're not changing pressure up here, that we're just moving around moving around the stick without changing pressure, and that we don't need to point our first finger. Okay, so we're going to touch the surface. There you go, just touch it. Hasn't come away from the palm yet, has it? Still, butt end is touching the palm. Right? Now we're going to bend forward and feel. We keep bending. There it is. Let's see, the wrist is doing it. That's all you have to do is the wrist. Bend forward. Fingers are just like mine, kind of elongated. They kind of pointed out, didn't they? And then if you bring it, no, don't lift. Why do you want to lift this up? You ruin the whole thing. Blows the whole thing. We want this. We want the butt end to go down. Okay? And then we're going to come back to here. Then we're coming back to parallel. Good. Now we're going to put the sticks under the fingers under the stick. No, stay with me. Now we've got the fingers wrapped around under the stick. In a sense, the stick is just lying in the hands, in the fingers. And now what we're going to do is duplicate the experiment where when we were just holding on with the first finger and thumb, but now the other fingers are on and we're going to just touch. Hasn't come away from the palm yet, has it? Butt end is touching the palm. But if we keep turning and allow the back fingers to open up, there you go, stop, you did it. There. And the whole thing will retrograde. Motion will reverse itself as you lift the wrist up. There. So that when you go to dribble, it will do that. Go ahead and let it dribble multiple rebounds. See, if you're too tight, it won't work. There. It forces you to have the condition of the grip just right. Because if you're playing real tight, Mike, watch. If you're playing real tight, and then you expect this, and you want this to happen, but you do this, and nothing happens because you're holding on so tight. If you're nice and relaxed, the fingers will open up. It'll prove to you that you're not so clenched that the fingers will respond to the wrist. They'll do this. So we want to get a relaxed feeling as we turn, so that when we want to do this, it's available. Go on, try it. Left. On the left. Nice and relaxed. So it's coming away from the palm as you turn to the ceiling. At that height, moving a little bit. For you, maybe it needs to be exaggerated so you can get in touch with it. And then, if you want to turn towards the surface just to let it dribble, everything's nice and relaxed. It'll just do what you felt and bring it back to parallel. That's not bad. There you go. Open to close. See if we can just keep that relaxed feeling of the butt end available to move. Go ahead. Play doubles now. And the whole gig, the whole thing we've worked on. Firm, comfortable, constant in the guides, first finger and thumb. Imagining what it would feel like if you really did want to let the sticks dribble. I'm not saying to do that, but would the hand do that thing that you're now becoming more familiar with? Right? Yeah. You can even test it that way. You can just put the stick on the surface and do this. Be playing for a while. And then you're just, I don't know, come to a stop and you go like that. Should do that. Will it? Remember, the idea is we really want to feel the butt end go down just with the wrist turning. It's not about some kind of leveraging thing. The leverage happens by not trying to leverage. Okay? So back to playing. Nice and relax. Let the stick lie in the hand. Maintain a grip up front. It should work out. Now you don't really have to do much. See, there's not too much to do other than if your hand is really relaxed, it'll work. Okay, good. Now you're starting to recognize that, hey, there is rebound availability. See, now all that becomes available. Right? You can see it. You can imagine where this will take you as you start to fool around on your drums, for instance, or to create some kind of, if you're writing a piece as a marching piece, for instance, and you wanted to create some kind of military reboundy thing, right? There it is. We use that stuff in jazz all the time, right? So, okay, so now we are becoming the kind of player that isn't just about the big notes. And the drummers that we both like so much is they have the ability to also play jazz, and they can play the small notes. Okay, so having a grip that can accommodate the ability to play small notes will lead to all kinds of big things. Okay?
Thank you,
Good job, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Come back.